So, good morning to all the participants who are online. At the outset, I thank Dr. Nagendraswamy sir for having introduced me to the audience today. I hope all of you can see the slides. It has been shared. So, are the slides visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so let me. Okay. Right. So, okay, so let's begin the session. As you all know that today, for the next 75 minutes, I will be discussing with you all on the topic an overview of e-learning delivery methods and the process. You can write to my mail ID any of your comments or queries once the session is over, and I'm happy to answer your queries.
Excuse me, sir.
1 minute. Please, sir. Please, sir.
Sir, show the screen in full view.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Yes, sir. I think now it's visible to each one of you in a full view, right, sir?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you. Thank you for your observations. Okay, so I have mentioned my email ID here. For any queries and all, you can write to my mail ID. So let me begin the session with a simple quote, which is quite inspiring all of us. The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do. So we have been listening to these type of quotes every day in our WhatsApp, but definitely there are some quotes which are very much inspiring, which will motivate us to work with a full spirit and enthusiasm. So with this quote, let me share with you outline of my presentation. In this session, I would like to share my little knowledge on the topic which I have already mentioned, that e-learning delivery process. Topic of my presentation covers a short introduction to the topic, then e-learning approaches, e-learning methods, e-learning delivery methods, e-learning process, e-learning tools, e-learning SWOT analysis, and top 10 e-learning companies in India, followed by summary and conclusion. So as I heard from HRDC authorities that the participants are from different background, and of course a few participants are also from the computer science background. And those who are from computer science background, you may be knowing these points a little more technically. I'm not sure, but I think I'm sure that you might have learned and you might have read it in some other way. But even for the faculties from other disciplines like language, history, political science, and mathematics, and other disciplines, you are also quite familiar with this e-learning delivery process. Because after this pandemic, all of us have been very much familiar with the technologies and the tools. And this could be one of the examples today, because now we are conducting this session online, and we are using a tool which can connect all of us in one platform, and we can share our views. And this is what is the technology. And this is an example for e-learning. So the reason behind this particular topic and the points which I'm going to cover here is, today in this technology era, it is become essential for all of us to know more about this particular e-learning idea. Though we are already familiar, there are many things which we should know and we should understand, and whenever it comes to implementation, so much more technical knowledge and the details are quite essential. And even now, because of a new national education policy, the government is insisting the students and also the faculties to go for a continuous learning. And also there is a SWAM platform and MOOC courses are there, and any student can register for the courses online of their interest, and they can study that particular course, and the credits can be transferred to their regular program. And this is what is the scenario now, and definitely this encourages more and more e-learning for both the students as well as the faculties. And of course, there are many other benefits of e-learning, and maybe in future, though there is a debate that it cannot replace the traditional teaching, that it's true, but still it can be a supplementary tool for all of us to engage in a continuous learning. So with this brief background, let's continue my discussion. Okay. So let me cover a few simple definitions in the first few slides for the sake of continuity. So e-learning can be defined as the use of computer and internet technologies to deliver a broad array of solutions to enable learning and improve performance. So all of us are already familiar with this, and because we have already experienced it, and definitely it improves our performance with a lot of visualizations. So there are many advantages of the benefits when we combine this e-learning with the traditional learning. So that's how the computer and the internet technologies will support the delivery of a broad array of solutions to enable learning and also improve the performance. In this context, e-learning makes much sense. So many organizations and institutions are using e-learning because it can be as effective as traditional training at a lower cost. And now all of you are already familiar that most of the corporate training and also the development is happening in virtual mode only. And also because of the technology integration, in future, definitely you can mimic the virtual world with the technology. And this e-learning is a step towards such virtualization or virtual environment. All of you might have seen that WhatsApp video some 2-3 days back, where in IIT Madras in a convocation, there was an augmented reality where a student can virtually be present in the convocation place and receive the convocation certificate. So that is what is the technology, and this e-learning is a stepping stone in that direction. So a knowledge about this plays a significant role in today's information and technology era, and that's how many organizations and institutions are using e-learning, because it is more effective and traditional as a traditional training at a lower cost. So this developing e-learning is more expensive than preparing a classroom material and training the trainers, especially if multimedia or highly interactive methods are used. So in addition to understanding the benefits or advantages of the e-learning, it's also very much important for us to know what is the expectation or what is the constraint or what is the initial preparation, and in order to effectively make use of this e-learning platform to deliver the things to the stakeholders. So here, what we need to understand here is preparing a classroom material and training the trainers is really a cost more expensive. But once it has been done, I can say it's a one-time investment. So once we set up the required infrastructure facility, and once we train the trainers, and once the materials are ready, and it will be much more effective. And even all of you are already aware that the faculties in various postgraduate departments and also in the colleges, they can even offer their own course under SWAYAM platform, and they must know all these things before they start such a course, which can be accessed by the students across the country, even sometimes abroad. So, but initially it seems to be more expensive, but once the required setup infrastructure and the preparation is ready, then definitely it offers many benefits, and also it's highly interactive. So the delivery costs for e-learning are considerably lower than those for classroom facilities. Instructor time, participants travel, and job time lost to attend the classroom sessions. So, scenario here. When we think of a traditional teaching and learning environment, we just go to the class with a chalkboard and a sheet of paper, and we can deliver whatever we have planned in that session for the students. But if at all we want to incorporate the e-learning facility or e-learning mechanism to deliver the lectures online, that's not sufficient. So as you all aware that it requires more preparation. Okay, so because we need to explain everything either in terms of a PowerPoint presentation, or we should have a provision for us to write something on the tablet, and then we have to present it. And for all these things, we need a tool, a right tool, and the integration and other technical support. And once that is ready, of course, it's fine then. So apart from that, when it comes to the delivery, so now let us assume that all these facilities are made available. Now, the only thing is we have to deliver the things to the stakeholders. So the delivery cost is lower than those of the classroom facilities. Okay, now look at here, sitting at your offices or sometimes at home, you can attend the sessions online. Okay, so it saves definitely the travel time and also the instructor time and the participants travel, and even sometimes you have to I think there was some problem. Okay, so I request the participants to mute your audio whenever you are talking to someone. Otherwise, it will be disturbing others as well, right? I sincerely request all the participants to mute your audio and keep your video in a shared mode, okay? So that the HRDC authorities can watch the participants attending, and also because it is being recorded, it will be made available later for a reference. Okay, and any disturbances in the middle may spoil the quality of the recording and as well as the content. Okay, so please mute your audio and please attend the sessions. Okay, so I was just discussing on the delivery costs for e-learning. So definitely it's considerably lower than those for classroom facilities, and instructor time, participants travel, and job time lost to attend the classroom sessions, because it offers such an advantage that you can attend and learn wherever you are with this technology. So with this understanding, the other benefit is okay. E-learning reaches a wide target audience by engaging learners who have difficulty attending conventional classroom training because of many reasons. The number one, geographically dispersed with limited time and our resources to travel. So definitely we may want to attend a particular session which is at Mysore or at Bangalore or some other geographically dispersed location. We know that it is quite interesting and more useful for our profession. But because of time constraints and other resources, we may not be able to travel there physically and attend the classes or whatever the event there. But that barrier can be removed with the help of this e-learning. So we don't want to travel, and wherever we are, maybe the geographical location is not at all. 1 minute, there is some issues. 1 minute. Okay, I think some cookies are quite often popping up. Okay, so though we are geographically dispersed and we can be, we can join in one platform and we need not travel and we don't need any much resources to travel, but yet we are able to attend the sessions and learn. That's the point one. And the second is busy with work or family commitments which do not allow them to attend courses on specific dates with a fixed schedule. So all of us are very much experienced with this fact. Many times we are constrained by other personal work and the family commitments, and because of that we may not be able to attend the classes physically. But it is worth attending, and in such situations, the e-learning platform offers a lot of benefits and also it's very advantageous, right? So because without compromising with this family commitment, and also because the courses can be even taken up in the other off-time office hours. So because of those facilities here, definitely we can make it possible to attend whenever it is convenient for us, and we can learn the things. And the next important point is located in conflict and post-conflict areas and restricted in their mobility because of security reasons. Suppose we are in a place where our mobility is not permitted because of some security reasons or because of some other constraints, we are not permitted to travel across. And definitely in this, from the past 2 years, because of this COVID-19 pandemic, we were very much scared enough to gather, right? And whenever we find the people who are, it is not permitted as well, okay? So, a crowd of more than 4 or 5 persons was not permitted, right, during the lockdown period. So at that time, many webinars and e-learning platforms were definitely supported a lot for the teaching community and also the students community. Many of us have attended webinars in our disciplines, and the students also have registered for some of the short-term courses online. Maybe it's a professional course, or it may be a course related to a language, or course related to any other discipline for that matter. And the learning continued in that direction, right? If this technology or this e-learning platform was not there, and definitely all of us could have been could have placed a lot of other difficulties, because sitting at home not allowed or permitted to go outside is not a simple scenario, right? So in such environment or situation also, that e-learning platform enable us to keep on learning, continue our learning, and engage ourselves in the learning process, and yet we made use of the time more beneficial to all of us. And that is what is the e-learning. So the limited from participating in a classroom sessions because of cultural or religious beliefs. So of course this point is not very much applicable to our I think religion or as such. Maybe in some countries there are certain restrictions where it will not allow a class of people because of a cultural or religious beliefs. They are not permitted to attend the classrooms. our sessions and that. So, but of course, this could also be another very important point that has been observed by the experts. And all these are the major concerns where the e-learning reaches a wider target audience by engaging learners who have difficulty in attending conventional classroom training, right? So with this, e-learning can offer effective instructional methods such as practicing with associated feedback. So this is very, very important, because many a times when we have attended a session, we will not be knowing how well we have learned it. There is a mechanism in the e-learning environment itself that how much we have learned, right? And definitely there is a feedback which helps us to fine-tune our learning, and hence our learning curve will be much more, the learning performance will be much more enhanced with the help of an associated feedback. So I think all of you have already seen that whenever a student is preparing for a KCET examination, GATE examination, or NEET examination, or PGCET, right? So there are a set of questions which are presented to the student, and he has to answer, and immediately he can get the answer to the question what he has answered, and with that he can assess himself that how well he has prepared in that particular subject or a course. He can assess himself, and that is what is the technology, and that is the benefit that offered by e-learning platform. So combining collaboration with activities with a self-paced study. Okay, so definitely depending upon our learning interest and capability, we can have a collaboration with others learning. Okay, so personalizing learning paths based on the learner's needs and using a simulation and games. I think when you watch your kids learning, okay, maybe it's a mathematics or a physics or a social science or history or geography, whatever it may be. And today when you go to a YouTube, and if you just click on a particular instruction or a particular material related to any particular subject, you can definitely see how well it has been designed, so that the kids can easily understand the whole concept with a lot of simulations and games, and definitely the learning will become much more entertaining than a traditional learning. Okay, so suppose definitely if at all we want to explain a circle in a traditional teaching environment, we have to write it on the board, and sometimes if we don't have a good writing, then we cannot write a circle properly, and the circles sometimes look like ellipse. Okay, so because of these things, when you look at such a 1 minute, I think there is okay. One minute. I think some cookies are quite often popping up and it's disturbing. Okay. So whenever we look at such videos which have been prepared, so definitely offers a lot of creative ideas to make the concept much more easy to grasp and understand accordingly. That's what is the simulation, and also through the games. You might have seen that whenever you want to teach the kids mathematics, so there is an interesting game where the kids can love to play the game, and in turn the kid can learn the concept of mathematics. And similarly, if at all we want to improve our English vocabulary or literature, definitely there is an app which helps us to engage ourselves, and we can learn much more faster than our traditional learning. So we can personalizing the learning paths based on the learner's needs, and using the simulation and games are the other very interesting characteristics of an e-learning platform. So all learners receive the same quality of instruction because there is no dependence on a specific instructor. So nowadays we are everywhere, many a times we speak that we don't have a good faculty, or we don't have a good infrastructure, are many other constraints related to our learning environment and all, right? But because of this e-learning platform and integration of this, definitely we can make everyone to listen to a top class professionals across the globe, not in a country, across the globe. So with the help of this e-learning environment and the platform, even you have observed and you have experienced that if you just go to the YouTube, you can find a lot of material related to this, where the experts in that particular domain have spoken on a particular topic. Okay, so everyone can access to such a facility, right? So there is nothing like any dependence on a specific instructor or a quality of instruction or anything as such. Okay, so this is what is the benefit of the e-learning platform. So having understand these very important and the basic information about the e-learning, here are some of the characteristics of the e-learning which makes this much more popular and also interesting. Now look at here a simple a text here, that the content and the link to resources, learners control, collaboration and sharing, delivery, and also administration. So these are all some of the modules which we can think of in when we integrate e-learning platform in our teaching and learning environment. Now let's take up the first one, that is the content. So definitely we can combine the text, video, graphics, and sound all put together, and we can make our content much more attractive. So rather than just sticking onto only the text, if you just use the video, graphics, and the sound, then it makes the learning environment much more attractive and interesting. The learner can involve in it, and he never feels that he is bored, and he can definitely engage in learning, and that's what is the content. I think whenever you watch any such e-learning material, you will see all these contents, and we call it as a multimedia content. There will be a video playing, and there will be graphics supported with that, and there will be text displaying as a caption, and also there is a sound. All these things makes the presentation much more attractive. That's what is the content. And when it comes to the collaboration and sharing, so there will be communities of practice. For example, if you are a professor of English or a professor of mathematics or social sciences, there is a forum where the other experts can join in the forum, and you can have a discussion on some of the topics which are worth debating. So for example, today we are all talking about the implementation of NEP. So definitely you can debate and you can share your thoughts and opinion in such a communities of practice. Okay, and also you can interact with the peers, right? So for example, 2 or 3 students who are carrying out the research on a particular subject, definitely they can share their knowledge and exchange their ideas by interacting with such classmates or the scholars who are working on the same discipline, right, or a domain. For example, I being a professor of computer science, if I'm engaged on a particular research activity, and I came to know that a similar research work is going on elsewhere in Michigan State University, USA, or it may be in Russia, Moscow State University in Russia. So I know the professor who is working on a similar problem domain. So then definitely I can be in touch with those scientists, other professors, other researchers, and I can share our knowledge, opinion, and whatever the results we have obtained through our research, and that makes our research much more robust and much more interesting and much more fruitful, right? Our understanding, analysis, our results, everything, and that's what is the collaboration and sharing. So other trainings we can interact under experts, mentors, and advisors, and this is all about the collaboration and the sharing. So the collaboration and the sharing can be made much more easy with the support of e-learning platform. And next is the delivery. Of course, we are all familiar that with internet or web, or with the distance learning, or through CD-ROM mechanisms or any other sources we can use to deliver the content online through e-learning platform. So when it comes to administration, enrollment, monitoring, and progress assessment, everything can be integrated into the e-learning platform. And even from administrative point of view, it offers many advantages. As you all are already aware of that, the higher education, the government of Karnataka has already initiated such platform, and you're all aware that Unified University College Management System, right, across all the 24 universities in Karnataka and more than 3,000 affiliated colleges to all those universities, including engineering and other education courses. Everything will come under one platform where the students can learn anywhere. Right. I mean, of course, he can be registered in one particular college affiliated to one particular university, but definitely under other schemes that student can definitely study the open elective or any other subjects which is offered by any other departments, universities as such. So that's how. Apart from that, even the enrollment monitoring, class monitoring, and the human resource management system and the progress assessment, everything can be assessed online automatically, and all the data is made available. And whenever you want any data related to any of these activities, it will be available, made available at your fingertips. You need not scratch your head to identify the papers, and then you can prepare the data for that. Everything will be made available just by a mouse click, and that is what is the power of the technology and also the integration of e-learning platform. So it is not only supports the learning, it also supports the other administrative activities as well. So apart from this, there is other training materials. Say, for example, whenever we teach traditionally in the classroom to the students, so definitely we ask students to read other textbooks, or you can refer to other materials as such. But the same thing can be made with much more wider scope, that the other training materials made available across over the internet, which are made available across the country or the globe. And other web-based training is also made possible and linked to electronic performance support system and etc. And because of this digital platform and e-learning environment platform, today any thesis, if at all you wish to refer, which is made digitized and made available, right? As you all aware that Shodhaganga is there. If you are taking a research in a particular subject, and if at all you want to know what is the literature, then definitely you can refer to those theses or research articles, and you can definitely identify the gaps, and accordingly you can formulate the best research problem on objectives, and which really benefits the society and the community. So this is how the e-learning offers a lot of advantages, and of course we can characterize e-learning with all these parameters, right? And I think this another one is the learner's control. There is practice, pacing, feedback, content, and accessibility, which I already commented on this particular point in the previous slide itself, right? So with this, now how to build an e-learning culture. So because today infrastructure has become very common thing for all of us, right? And every colleges and every institutes, the departments will have a sufficient infrastructure, and definitely in the next decade it will become much more cheaper and easily available. So with all this support, with the technology and resources and the infrastructure, then how we can build an e-learning culture. So what are the major entities involved in building an e-learning culture? So one is the learner, another is the teacher, another is the administrator. And these are the three main components that we can even see in a traditional learning environment. So similarly in e-learning culture also, we have these three. So there is a learner who is self-directed, self-motivated, self-regulating, and lifelong learning. So these are the attributes associated with a learner. He will be self-directed and self-motivated, self-regulating, and lifelong learning. So these are the attributes. And when it comes to the teacher, develop a knowledge and skills, understand learning and its need, facilitate learning and create learning opportunity. So the e-learning also supports a teacher to develop the knowledge and the skills, understand the learning and its need, and facilitate the learning to the others, stakeholders, that means the learners, and create learning opportunities. And the administrators will support in terms of creating a learning environment, provide ICT infrastructure, resources for lifelong learning. So with all these three, we can build an e-learning culture. As I already mentioned, that unified university college management system, what the higher education of government of Karnataka has already launched, and this definitely demands all these things to be enforced in each and every college. And that is the reason they have mentioned that each and every college should have an e-governance cell and a technical staff, wherein that staff and the cell should aware of all these things, and that administrator means the head of the institution, like the principal of that institution or a director of the departments, and they should provide a learning environment, infrastructure facilities, and resources for lifelong learning. And we being the teachers, we should develop the knowledge and the skills. So how to conduct the classes online, how to assess the students online, how to conduct the examinations online, right? So that is a part. I cannot say 100% it is in that virtual mode only, but it could be blended as well, right? So create a learning opportunities for the students, because sometimes you want to conduct a bridge courses for the slow learners, but the time may not permit you. So maybe after 5 o'clock, those people who are working in remote places, they have to close down the colleges and all, they have to come back to the home, right? Then how can we help the slow learners? Definitely, such a e-learning culture will support those slow learners. We can help them in this way, so that even after office hours, maybe after 6 o'clock or after 7 o'clock, sitting at their home, they can pick up the skills of communication English, documentation English, or a knowledge about the history, political science, administration, and also the science subjects as well. And that's what is the e-learning culture. So it is expected that in the next coming years, such a culture needs to be set up in each and every colleges. And that's what is the vision of the higher education of government of Karnataka. And I'm sure that it will be definitely implemented as soon as possible. So with this, now when it comes to e-learning approaches, there is a self-paced, it is completely independent. It's like we, suppose if we wanted to learn something based on our interest, I can just search for such a material in the web and I can learn according to my interest. That's what is called self-paced. So there is time is not a constraint. Whenever time permits, I can just study and I can learn according to my convenience. It is completely independent and self-paced. Okay, so whatever the subjects you want to learn, for example, if I am interested in law or I am interested in journalism, so I can learn that. Or if I am interested in music, I can learn that, right? It is completely independent. So if there is such a facility, definitely I can learn that without any obstacle at all. That is what is called self-paced. Without anybody's support, we can learn the things. The another one is the instructor-led. It provides different levels of support from tutors and instructors and collaboration among the learners. So now we have also experienced this, and now today it has become common after the pandemic that almost all schools were conducted online. And even for kids, now also the classes are conducted online. There is an instructor, that's a teacher, who teaches the kids with the support of online material. And also they have certain setup, right? And they teach the kids with those materials, okay, with the games and all. So there is an instructor who provides different levels of support from tutors and instructors, and also collaboration among the learners. So there are two general approaches to e-learning. One is self-paced and instructor-led. For our level, because we are all the postgraduates with a lot of experience, we being the teachers, we definitely have an ability to learn independently. So with the self-paced, we can learn a lot of things. What is important is our interest and our regulations, right? That's all. So with this, now, when it comes to e-learning approaches, it can combine different types of e-learning component. The one is e-learning content and e-tutoring, e-coaching, e-mentoring, collaborative learning, and virtual classrooms. So these are the various components, right, where e-learning approaches can be combined. So the content, so suppose if I'm delivering a lecture on mathematics or in computer science, the first thing is I should justify what is the content to be delivered for the students. So what is the level of students to whom I'm teaching? Accordingly, the content makes the sense. Apart from that, there is e-tutoring, e-coaching, and e-mentoring in another context. Okay. Apart from that, there is a collaborative learning, as we already mentioned, and also there is a virtual classroom. Okay. What we are right now is an example of a virtual classroom, and also it's it's like e-learning content what I have presenting before you. So the e-learning content would be a simple learning resources in terms of a PowerPoints or in terms of PDFs or in terms of videos, anything as such. So it can be interactive e-lessons, electronic simulations, and also the job aids. Even whenever we are teaching like a chemistry or experiments in physics or some simulations in mathematics, everything can be done, and accordingly we can use electronic simulations, and we can make the teaching much more effective. And also with the interactive e-lessons, we can deliver the things. And in addition to that, the job aids can also be. I mean to say, whenever we are teaching a particular topic to the students, how that particular topic helps students to get a job, or how this is important, right? So whenever we are teaching a particular topic, definitely there is an association with that topic with the today's requirement in industry or in a corporate or in education sector as well. So we have to help the students and also motivate them that, so this topic will definitely help them to get a better job. Okay, so that's how the e-learning content should cover all these things, which starts with a simple learning resources like a PPT or PDF material or any other word information, content. In addition to that, there will be interactive e-lessons and electronic simulations, and also the job aids. So here are some of the examples. Okay, so dog, PPT, interactive e-lessons, job aids, and electronic simulations like this. So this is only for visualization. I have made it clear. So when it comes to e-tutoring, e-coaching, and e-mentoring, e-tutoring, coaching, and e-mentoring provides an individual support and a feedback to the learners through online tools and facilitation techniques. So I already mentioned that whenever you have registered for a particular course online, so definitely the examinations are conducted online, and you can assess yourself with an interactive questionnaires and also with the feedback. Okay, so for example, if there is a requirement that the student need to be assessed with a presentation, then what you can do is you can just give a 5 minutes presentation, and that 5-minute presentation will be automatically recorded, and that will be assessed by the instructor, and definitely a feedback can be given to the learners or the students who can improve the presentation, right? So that's how a lot of tools are made available, where it supports this tutoring, coaching, and mentoring to the overall learning environment for the learner. So the collaborative learning, like activities range from discussions and knowledge sharing to working together on a common project. Social software such as charts, discussion forums, and blogs are used for online collaboration among the learners. So all of you are already aware that there is a LinkedIn, a social network, and ResearchGate, a social network, wherein we can have a community of researchers who work on a particular topic or a discipline or a domain. So where they can share the knowledge, and you can ask a question, and whoever knows answer to that question, they can immediately respond to your question, so that you will get an immediate answer from your peers. And that's what is the collaborative learning. And this e-learning platform or the technology definitely supports such a collaborative learning. So look at this, the visualization, so that we can understand what exactly is the collaborative learning.